on, give me a second. I pulled up my list.
I pulled up my.
Yeah, I could just tell you mine then.
So
Okay,
mine
let me hear.
was. All right, go ahead. Vic.
So mine
Somebody
was
can
Dragon
go.
Ball Z.
Okay,
Is that number
okay?
1 or is that
Yeah,
number
you going
5?
number 1 or 5?
1 or 5. That would
Are
be.
you starting off with
one.
like number 1 or are you
I'm
starting
going
off?
like-
1 down to 5.
Okay,
so
you're going down 5 to 1. Okay, just like
Dragon Ball Z was
my
my all-time
okay,
favorite.
hold on. Pause. Don't say anything.
Oh my god, he's gonna put fucking music.
Fine. Grab my pen. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
One
You have a computer. Can
is
you just
Dragon
fucking
Ball
put it?
Z.
Oh my god, this guy's ready.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z, right? So that's
2 is going to be Bleach.
Okay.
3 is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
4 is Inuyasha.
Okay, you watch all the fucking 90s shit, man.
And 5 would be Naruto.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z was 1.
So I know I talked to you about this already, Lee, where we were saying like, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, or like we were talking about Naruto mainly, like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and we were talking about, I guess that kind of being like 1, but I think we should separate it, to be honest.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I was gonna stick Dragon Ball franchise all together. But
No.
if you want to separate it,
You can separate it because Dragon Ball it's completely different than Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z is completely different than Dragon Ball GT or Dragon Ball Z Super.
I don't
Yeah,
consider
because GT, like GT is
anything.
like not even in the same universe, but technically it was a Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
To me,
part of
I
that
think
series.
Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super is all one storyline of.
Yeah,
Goku.
but
Before Super came out, GT was the storyline.
GT was,
Storyline.
was never canon though.
no.
I'm just saying, it's kind of all in the same like story like world, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
Like-
like for example, like if like Andrew was saying, like Dragon Ball, it's like the humans, like the power scaling, and it's just so concise to Earth that when you just look at the perspective of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they're completely different animes. Yeah, they're shonen and they're both about action and adventure stuff, but
well, okay. How about this? If you want to combine 2 titles that are like similar but that are within the same universe, because Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super
about the same.
in the same. So if you want to combine Dragon Ball Z, you could say Dragon Ball franchise in general. You can love all of it if you want to, or you can be more specific. I love Dragon Ball Z. I didn't like Dragon Ball Super.
Or you can just say like this: hey, listen, I love Dragon Ball Z. It's like my favorite anime, but my favorite arc of that anime was this because of this reason. Like
Right.
if you have 2 people with the same anime, you could differentiate yourself by saying which arc you prefer from the anime. You understand what I'm saying? Like for example, like Buu Saga for me, it was like, eh. But the Cell Saga for me was the best.
Did you get my roundtable reference? And I was like, we'll do an anime roundtable.
Yeah, that's how you come at me.
But I mean, if somebody wants to talk about Super, I mean, I like Dragon Ball Z and Super, but I me personally, I loved Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
And I know more of the story of like at the end of Frieza fight, that was supposed to be the end of Dragon Ball Z.
It is true.
Fans
Correct.
kept it going.
Yeah.
At the end of the Cell fight, Gohan was supposed to become the main character, and Goku was supposed to.
It was supposed
before
to.
we get
It
into
was
all that,
supposed to. Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to say what my point is. So, like, for example, the Dragon Ball Z was 1, and then your number 5, Naruto. So Naruto is broken up into Naruto Shippuden, and then now Boruto.
Okay, so number 1 was DBZ. Number 2 was Bleach.
Yep.
And then
The big 3,
3
basically.
was Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
And then number 4 was
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha. Classic.
Inuyasha.
You completed Inuyasha, Lee?
Yep.
Nice.
Even the final, I was so happy when they came out with the final chapter.
Same. It's called Final Act, actually. But I love that. Okay. Next, let's get more into discussion about top 5s later. So, Andrew, you're next.
So
Starting
my number
one.
1 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Naruto Shippuden. 3, Attack on Titan. 4, One Piece. 5 Overlord.
All right, Justin, change my number 5 to Gundam Wing. G Gundam. Right.
Gundam Wing or
Gundam Wing
There's-
or
there's-
G Gundam?
There's so many Gundams.
It's G
man.
Gundam.
Yeah.
Oh,
G
It's
Gundam.
Iron
yeah,
Blooded.
like yeah.
With it was what's his name? Yeah, that's G Gundam.
Okay, so
That way we're
Right.
both not talking about Naruto Shippuden.
you can, if you want, you could support the other person. So Andrew, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Naruto Shippuden, Attack on Titan. Number 4 was what?
One Piece.
One Piece. One piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding. And number 5 was
5 Overlord.
what? Overlord. Nice.
I wanted
Nice.
to put freaking My Hero Academia in there, but I don't know.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I really want to get it in that list, man. But that's probably like my honorable mention.
This dynamite goes for an awesome
There's no such thing as honorable mention.
Just
Have a
perfect, yeah.
And White Sun, what's yours?
You go first. I'm trying to break it down. There's a lot of anime that I've seen, so I'm drawing at straws right here now, man. Like,
You've had all week to prepare.
trust
for
me,
this.
I have done it to about 15. You have to
I
understand.
was really disappointed when Goose said he wasn't gonna be on
He doesn't have testing shit
because he wants to watch or play video games.
Well, anybody can do. Let's see. If you want to go for it, okay. Number 5 is Evangelion. Number 4 is Clannad. Number 3 is Rurouni Kenshin.
Whoa. You're speaking in tongues here. Number 5 is what?
Evangelion.
I don't even know what that is. I can't
Exactly.
Spell, that. Spell it for
It's
me.
Evan EVANGELION.
Galley. Got it.
Evangelion.
Next.
Number 4 is Clannad.
What is it called?
Clannad. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Clan ad, pretty much.
Bad. Okay.
Okay. Number 3 is Rurouni Kenshin, or Samurai X, as you like to call it on the West.
Next.
And number 2 is Robotech, or what you guys would have gone, just put
Just
Robotech.
say the name.
Just put Robotech. I'm not gonna give you the Japanese anime of it. Okay. Mobile Suit, not Mobile Suit Gundam. It's on.
Are you googling it right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to Google it right now because it's a long ass thing. Because it's both. The Robotech is what we see here in the West, but the original one was actually like Super Dimensional Cavalry Southern Cross Macross. It's like, again, it's a long ass name. But it's Super Dimension Fortress Macross, but I'm not gonna say that the fuck. Well, I'll say it in the show, but that's number 2. And number 1, that's the thing. I mean, longevity, I could go with Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, but like I mean, I seen that. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I could go for Toradora. I could go with fucking. Actually, you know what? I realized what it is. Can we do honorable mentions or no?
Yes, we will do an honorable mention.
Okay,
stage.
Konosuba.
Konosuba.
My
I
That
love
was your number 1?
no, that's my honorable mention.
Oh,
So you got-
what the?
so you-
I need number 1. We'll do honorable mentions in a second after you mention your number 1.
I'm just going on like I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm like, so many shit. I could go for Hajime no Ippo, but it's like, again, they haven't done anything with the anime in a while.
That doesn't mean anything. If this is your favorite,
I
it's
know.
your favorite, man.
What's your favorite? What's your number 1 favorite? What's your favorite anime?
Do you have no idea how difficult it is for me?
What's the anime you could watch over and over and over again consistently? Like, oh man, I haven't seen Attack on Titan in a month. I could watch the whole thing again.
Oh yeah, Captain Tsubasa. No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Captain Tsubasa. Captain
So
Tsubasa
I know when
or
Marlon goes talking about his, man.
You guys are
The
gonna
only
go.
one the only one I've seen part of Clanad, and I've seen Evangelion. That's it.
Actually, you know what? Change Captain Tsubasa. I'll put that on my honorable mentions. My number 1 is gonna be Knights of the Zodiac. That's my number 1, Knights of the Zodiac. or what you guys want to call it, Saint Seiya.
Okay, give me just a second. Let me just open this internet browser and make close my Pornhub account.
Surprised you didn't say like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
No, man, because
Right.
the thing for me though, Yu-Gi-Oh, I love it, but the problem with that is not my favorite. Okay, there's so many anime that I have seen that like
there's a lot of good ones out there. Trust me.
so like for
I know.
example,
Yes,
So that's what
like-
I'm saying. Like My Hero Academia,
My Hero
Seven Deadly
Academia.
Sins. Like those are definitely up there on that list.
Exactly. So, as for mine, of course, mine is My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, SAO, Dragon Ball Z, and Shokugeki.
or Art Online, really.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed Sword Art
Wait,
Online.
so that order again?
My Hero Academia,
That number
Attack
one.
on. Yes, starting from 1 to 5. My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, SAO, Dragon Ball Z, and Shokugeki.
Shokugeki, yeah.
Yes. So,
Because the thing
as-
for go ahead. I'm not gonna.
reasoning for me for Dragon Ball Z, of course, obviously has to make the list no matter what, even if there's animes way better than that, such as, Danmachi, Fire Force, and all this stuff. Dragon Ball Z hits home. That's all it is for me. I mean, it's always going to remain on the top 5 list, for sure. I don't know about top 3, but we'll be there. Since we have everyone's lists here, we can't put an honorable mention of someone's top 5 in the honorable mentions. So, Konosuba, Marlon started it off as an honorable mention. Let's start with Lee first, though. Or, you know what? We'll continue with Marlon. Marlon, what's your honorable mentions?
Captain Tsubasa, because it is literally the reason why I love fucking soccer. Okay? If you were a kid growing up in Latin America, that was the show to watch, because it was like, you felt like you were in the fucking pitch playing when you watched that, man. And that's why I love soccer.
Don't need the reasoning behind it. We just need to know why. Or not. We don't even need to know why. We just need to know honorable mentions. Give me some more honorable mentions, Marlon.
What was that? You said Captain what?
Captain Tsubasa. Or you gotta call it Super Campeones if you would have been in the Latin America. If you actually want to watch it,
I do like women as well. Let's move on.
Fuck you, asshole. Come mierda.
What's your next honorable mention? Any more honorable mentions?
For you
Andrew,
guys.
this one.
You already took My Hero Academia. Steins Gate would definitely be on my honorable mention list.
Lee, let me hear it.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Ooh.
Decent anime, like that, like the list. I mean, think about it. We could do like freaking a lot. So, Record of Lotus War is a really good one from the '90s, man.
Black Clover.
I'm surprised you guys nobody said Lupin the Third though.
Never watched any of that, to be honest.
Oh my fuck! And you guys call yourself anime fans?
There's so many out there, man.
There is a lot.
I like a lot of the old animes, so I can't. speak
Lupin
on
is
a lot of
old,
animes.
man. Lupin's been going on for years, dude.
What about Cowboy Bebop? Anybody has seen that?
I've watched like half of it.
I watched some of it.
Haven't finished
I didn't care too much for that one.
Okay, fine. I don't know. Berserk.
I put God Eater.
God Eater, that's a good one. Like a Trigun.
7 Deadly Sins.
High School DxD.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it, man. I don't want to go for any ecchi anime because I'll be going down a fucking list larger than the fucking sun. Okay, like we got HDD, we got
Demon Slayer.
My Little Sister's
Demon
Testament.
Slayer was really good, man. So was man. You could talk about so many good ones out there, dude.
Of course, but they just didn't make the list.
I'm surprised any of you guys didn't actually put Sailor Moon for your fucking top 5.
Nah, I hated that
Never.
shit, man.
I hated that shit as well. Other honorable mentions. I'm looking through my anime list on Kiss Anime. I have over like 1,000 in here that I've seen.
Exactly. Mobile Suit Gundam, specifically which one you like from the Mobile Suit Gundams, Cowboy Bebop.
Maggie's grandson. I don't know. Magical Senpai. That was a little funny. And My Hero Academia.
Now I like the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Original Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's fine. It's still one of them.
What about Fist of the North Star? Anybody seen that?
I have not, but you want to put it on there?
Oh my god, dude. Okay, put it on, please. Put it on. I swear to God, man. You guys need to see that, okay? They literally have fucking Kenshiro as like, "Yata! Yata!"
I'm
He's the
putting
guy.
One Punch Man as well.
Oh yes, I almost forgot about that one.
One Punch
is
Man.
Really, really good.
Okay, you guys been watching a lot of good anime not from mainstream, but that's been coming out for the past couple of years. Like, have you seen anything from the mainstream area from the past couple years backwards? I don't know.
There's one I liked a lot. It was called Golden Time. It was more like a romance comedy kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fairy Tale. I can't forget that one.
Fairy
Fairy Tale.
Like Fairy
I
Tale.
hear it had a horrible ending, but whatever. Fairy Tale.
Rave Master. What about that one? Have you guys seen that?
What is that?
Rave Master. Have you guys seen Rave Master?
No.
I can't say I have. Parasite was really good. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one.
I have not. My sister's been telling me to watch it.
Dr. Stone here lately has been pretty good.
Yes, I put Dr. Stone. I put Dr. Stone, Black Clover, Fire Force, God Eater.
These are all pretty recent ones, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was saying, like, your top favorite ones doesn't have to be recent, but just for you, which one you really like?
Yeah. Skill Teaser, Takagaki-san. I don't know. I like that one. That was just mine.
Psychopaths.
Psychopaths. Anybody watched? Does anyone consider Avatar?
The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Is it technically anime? That's the question.
I would not. But for some reason, The Legend of Korra is in this anime list of mine. Ooh. The Rising of a Shield Hero.
Yeah. I was really like that one at the beginning, and then I read the books for it, and then I hated the anime afterwards.
The Testament of Sister, the New Devil.
I got one for Andrew. Probably when he was growing up was Digimon.
Yes. Digital monsters.
Did you want to put Pokemon in there as well?
I liked it growing up as a kid. I liked the original. I don't care for anything else.
Yeah, I don't even want to go about into fucking Nobuhiro's Nishiwaki's history. I'm just gonna say Rurouni Kenshin, by the original manga by Nobuhiro Nibishaki. Yeah, because he's fucked up big time with the fucking child pornography bullshit. So I'm not gonna say into that. I'm just gonna say by the anime, which was basically produced by.
Oh yes, Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, Mob Psycho 100 by Kazuhiro Furuhashi.
All right, so y'all want to get started, I guess.
Yeah, we probably should get started. So we'll go through the list. We'll go through everyone's thing, and at the very end, we'll do some honorable mentions. We'll just say their names. We've seen so many different animes. We've seen old animes, new animes. Oh wait, I have to put in the honorable mentions. Danmachi.
Danmachi, really?
I love Danmachi.
What do you thought about the last season? Like the last couple episodes? Do you feel like they really messed up by not going into the dungeon, or do you feel that it was just more like world building?
I think they kind of dragged it out a little bit.
Gotcha. I felt the same.
And I'm going to put this in big bold. We will not mention any of the Fate Stay Nights because there are too many to name.
Oh, come on, man. This guy, I swear to God. If you're going to watch Fate Stay Night, I'm just going to tell you this. Watch Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Fate Stay Night's movies, Heaven's Feels. That's all I ask.
I only watched the one with the red-headed archer. That's the only one I care about. Anyways, moving on.
So, what way y'all want to do this?
So we'll start off with.
You want to start naming all number 5s, or just go down your list?
I think we should go 5, 5, 5, 5, and then 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. That way everybody gets to be able to say their piece without going, all right, 5 is this, because then it gets really
turn on your camera too.
No, I don't have to. I don't want
to. I don't like not seeing the face when I'm talking.
Oh, so you okay? Now I know. I was gonna be really mean to you right now, Lee, but you know what? You're my friend. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yes, keep your mouth shut. Let's okay, so I think we should go based on top 5. And well, of course, we'll go based on that. So we'll go all fives, and then fours, and then threes, and then twos, and then we'll go into much greater details on number ones, on why they are number ones, and what can you pull from number ones. I guess Got it. Good. And then I'll bring this sock puppet right here I have over here, and this will be acting Goose.
Sock puppet? Are you fucking kidding me? You come mierda.
It's animes for weebs or whatever.
For weebs, like hi everybody, this is Elmo speaking, and today we're gonna be talking anime, and I'm gonna be playing as part of Goose today. You fucking hate bullshit, man.
All right,
just like I hate you when you fucking do that.
So what's the intro? I don't know. What's Goose's
Good
intro?
morning, good afternoon, good evening. Fuck, screw that. We're not doing that shit. Justin is taking more of this. Go ahead, Justin. You can do something like that. Doesn't have to be like the way that Gustavo does it, you know.
No, of course it's not gonna be like Gustavo does it. Okay, tell me when you're ready, Marlon.
Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure to put some last things on here because this fucking thing. Yep, I'm ready. So give me 1 second. Yeah, this thing has been recording for the past couple of minutes. That should be good. You can. I'll actually stop this soundtrack here. Come on, stop. We're starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Anthem. Wait. We're talking about anime today. Hello, I'm your host this week.
No, start over. We're not doing this shit. That was horrible. Disgusting. No, we're not doing that. We're starting correctly this time. Please, don't screw it up, Justin. Okay, remember, this is the TMSG show, brother. This is not Anthem Freeloader, Anthem Freelancer. This is not that shit.
Anthem Freeloader Radio.
Anthem Freeloader.
Okay, this is the TMSU show, to start out from the top. Okay. I'm gonna keep this because I want to give Gustavo to hear this bullshit. This is disgusting. Anyways, so starting in 3, 2.
Good morning, good evening, and good night from the TMSG show. As you can tell, your host Gustavo is not here today. And guess who's taking over? The main man, the number one, the best, Ronaldo Machaco. And here with me this week, we have the quiet man.
What's up, peoples?
We have the southerner.
What's up, guys?
And we have El Sol Blanco.
Good evening, guys. Hopefully everybody's been doing well tonight. We're having a great panel, and I'm pretty sure that our host here will do a wonderful job and be a freeloader like he has been for the past couple of weeks. So,
yes. So, unfortunately, today, Gustavo could not join us. He's playing Uber Eats. I'm sorry, he's very deep into the world of the USA. I mean, the UCA. I mean, I don't remember. Whatever.
He's playing FedEx the game, okay?
You know what? They say that this game, Death Stranding, is like a new type of a genre where it's called real life. Where you just work and you just deliver and drop off packages all day. But you know what? That's not what today's episode's about. Today's episode is about anime, and more anime. Yeah. Today, the TMSG members will be sharing their personal and top 5 picks of anime and how they changed them into the person that they are today. See, me, for example, Dragon Ball Z would be one of, maybe if not the top, because I look this big and badass. Look at these muscles. I look like Goku on a good day. And Marlon looks like Yamcha on episode 4 of Dragon Ball Z when he gets killed by the Cybermen. But anyways, like I was saying, today we're going to be talking about our animes, and we will go in a specific order. We'll go from nearest to furthest, I guess. So we'll go from Lee to Andrew to Marlon to myself, and we'll start from number 5 all the way to number 1. And then maybe when we get to our number 1 anime, we'll explain why we go into number 1 for the anime. So
makes sense.
Of course, we'll give some honorable mentions at the end. Not that they weren't good, it's just that they didn't make it to the top 5 list.
And trust me, for some of you people, I had a really bad trouble trying to come up with some decent list for this. And not because I haven't seen too little anime, it's because I've seen too much anime. And you guys would know that when you have a big list of things that you have been watched, some of them gets lost in the process. But hopefully we'll be able to give you a decent list with very good variety of decent anime that you should watch. We're telling this to you, Gustavo, that you should be watching almost all of the anime that we're going to be discussing in this episode. But
Gustavo's not cultured enough for anime. He can't take it. Please trust me, listeners. If you're with me, please tweet at me at my personal Instagram, Marlon's Crazy, because I've never seen any of these anime that he mentioned in our lists. So please bear with us when he starts mentioning. You are going to
sound like an uncultured swine, I'll tell you that. Okay? And I don't want to hear that from you, Mr. I don't watch movies, okay? So
I watch anime. I do watch anime. And I'm not just talking about the mainstream anime. I'm talking about the good stuff. This is the good.
This is not the good stuff. This is the more mainstream you can get. What are you talking about, man? It's like, you haven't seen. You know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let the list go by itself. And it speak for itself for all the BS that we're going to hearing from Gustavo. We're going to hear to Gustavo, is what I'm saying. So,
let's start it off with Lee. My man, Lee. It's high noon.
My number 5 anime is G Gundam.
All right. Decent. I like it.
G Gundam. Never heard of it. Actually, I've heard of Gundam Wing, but never G Gundam because there's so many mechs. I'm not a personal mech man. But tell me, Lee, G Gundam. What is this? What is G Gundam?
G Gundam is basically Domo Kashu is piloting a Gundam going through the world trying to beat other nations for the control of the world. Yes. Now all of the people are on islands out in space, and they do this tournament every 4 years to see who controls the world. Basically, he was forced into the Gundam fight by his nation because his brother was in a Gundam called the Dark Gundam, but it was not designed for the Dark Gundam.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
so how did G Gundam make it into your top 5 list?
I just enjoy watching it. I mean, it was.
Was it the fighting? Was it like the animation, the storytelling?
The fighting, the storytelling on it was really good. I mean, it was. To me, it's. How to describe it?
Basically, the story is a bit about, it's kind of eclectic. You have your fighting moments like the big tournament. You have the arc of Domo trying to get back at his brother, who basically ended up doing a lot of bad things with the Dark Gundam, and you have all these factions going out against each other, and it's a really great anime for fighting, for just overall.
That, and also it's like showing how friends come together to solve a problem too.
Yeah, like for example, like when you see Gundam Wing, or you saw Mobile Suit Gundam or Mobile Suit Gundam Universe, it's always been like a war. It's always been the Scion faction versus the Federation, or you have the lunar or Mars colonies versus the Earth Federation. And with this one, it was kind of like change. So it wasn't about you still had those motifs and themes for like the Earth Federation versus the colonies, but it was more subverted by the fact that you had the tournament going on. So
are these Gundams are they all they're all collected with each other, right? They all within the same universe and stuff like that, or
yes,
same timeline at least?
No, some of the themes are across the series, but most Gundams, unless stated by the producers and by the writers and stuff like that, they are mostly like in alternate universes or in alternate timelines. So for example,
is this a standalone Gundam?
Yes, this one is a standalone Gundam.
Okay, so I can watch this one and I can get into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably like what, 12, 14, 25 episodes?
Oh.
It's about 25, I think.
Yeah.
25 episodes? Okay. Not bad, not bad. I mean, like I said, I'm not a mech guy, but I'm always up for a good anime. I mean, is there a love? For those of you that don't know, this is the Ronaldo Machado speaking.
If you're asking for a love interest, yes, there is one.
Yes. I am the guy who loves the love story in anime.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
See, I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't care for any of the other Gundams.
I see.
So
this
is the only Gundam. This is the only Gundam that I actually liked, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Interesting.
All right, yeah, I'm pretty sure that anybody who's seeing G Gundam will know this quote, and they probably can say it on top of their head like I do. This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. Its shining grip, it tells me to defeat you. Something like that.
No,
it was.
Just missed it all.
I know, I missed it all.
This
but
hand of mine is glowing red.
No, there's a couple of ways you can say it. There's a couple of ways to say it, depending on the Gundam.
So are they inside the suits? They're inside the Gundam suits, right? They're not like controlling them from different ways.
Yeah, they're pilots.
Oh,
yeah,
but
the way
cool.
but the way that they pilot the Gundams goes completely different the way that normally you would have seen in a Mobile Suit Gundam. In this one, they're inside the mecha suit, but it's more like a VR stage basically. In other mobile Gundams, they will be basically on a cockpit, and they will be holding it with control stuff like that. With this one, it's more like it feels more physical. Like you can see like the holographic reflection of them holding a sword in their hands and them swinging it inside the cockpit to reflect what is happening outside with the Gundam. So other than these mechs and suits, do the pilots have powers or anything like that? Like somebody can see the future or something like that. I don't know. And then they can anticipate opponents' movements and stuff like that. Something like that. Like they would have like an extra sensory abilities for like with Domo. Like as he would get better and better with the Gundam, and Lee will testify with this. Like he would know when Kyoji was in the area. It's like he can feel the Dark Gundam in the area.
Oh, I see.
So it wasn't
so
like
everyone's on level. At least everyone was like on level playing field. There wasn't like some mech suit that was out there. Other than
no. There was some cheating bastards in there. Yeah, Master Asian was an asshole. Let's put it that way, okay? He had like the best Gundam.
He was, but in the end, he tried to show why it was justified what he was doing.
Like at the end of the series, like almost at the end of the series, like they do have like this motif where they would tell you like what type of ranking you were. So for example, like Domo, like you will have like this glowing like ace or like King of Hearts symbol that will glow on the back of their hands, and that will tell he's become a king. It's like
no, that has nothing to do with it. That's called the Sheffield Alliance. They're the guardians of the tournament, basically, trying to make sure nothing bad actually happens to the people in the tournament.
But doesn't Domo get one at the end?
Yeah, the 5 friends that come together to defeat the Gundam is the Sheffield Alliance. They all have them.
Gotcha.
That was the threat to the tournament. Basically, was the Dark Gundam. So they all had to. He had to fight them and earn their respect to help get them to help him with the Dark Gundam.
Interesting. I have to look more into this. So I pretty much have 2 more questions for you, Lee, on this number 5 pick. How old is this anime?
It came out in the 90s.
In the 90s? Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. It came out with Bebop and all that.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop and stuff?
Yeah.
Bebop?
Most of my animes on my list are from the 90s.
Interesting. And my last question being, probably because you and I are the same age. Did you read any of the mangas and stuff? Did this even have a manga?
No, I have not read the mangas, and I've not read the mangas or any anime, so I can't help you there.
Okay.
All
I
right,
just
so basically,
Is there a manga for
yes,
this?
there's a manga for this, and the anime came out in 1994. Um, so yeah, it was definitely the 90s, like Ligis was saying.
Dang, he's almost as old as me.
That's
But
crazy.
like,
That is-
by the way, for our listeners out there, most of the animes that we're going to be talking about do have a manga adaptation of it, and some of it those even goes towards to like a light novel adaptation, or even like a real life adaptation. So if you're interested in looking at any of those adaptations, you know that they are there. So having said that,
Well, great starting us off, Lee, on that great number 5, G Gundam. Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not a mech fan, but I'll take a look at it. That goes on to our next number 5, the Quiet Man himself.
All
Don't hold
right.
back now, Andrew.
Nah, my number 5 is Overlord. Is basically an anime that came out in 2015, I think.
Yeah, that's a newer one, right?
Yeah, it's the newer one. It has right now. There's 3 seasons out. Each season is about 13 episodes, so there's I think 39 episodes in total. But it's basically about a player who spent. I guess there's a VR game that's getting shut down, and so he was like the leader of a guild, and he was like super attached to his guild and put a lot of time and effort into this thing. So he decided to spend the last moments of the game pretty much in the game, like in there, and he fell asleep or something. And when he woke up, his consciousness was pretty much in the game now, and all the NPCs and everything developed personalities of their own. So the game pretty much came to life.
So,
And,
like, his guild, were they other online players, or they were other NPCs?
Yeah, so as of right now, I don't want to like ruin the anime for people who haven't seen it yet, but when he fell asleep, he was the only player in the world at this time. But he doesn't know if there's any other players in the world. So he's being real cautious about exploring, and basically his goal is to take over the world in that now. And I think it's really cool though, because he's like a super OP character, yeah, but he's still being real cautious and uh strategic in how he takes over, and is
This isn't like that overly cautious hero anime, is it?
no, definitely not.
Okay.
that's
a whole. That's a
this
whole.
one is more. This one's definitely darker. Like he lost a lot of his human, I guess, emotions and stuff like that, because he is he's in a dark guild, and his character is a skeleton, so he doesn't need to eat or sleep or anything like that anymore. So he loses a lot of that stuff. So like a lot of his human emotion, and so he's so there's some dark themes to it, but for the most part, I've really enjoyed this anime.
Happy to hear that.
It's not Goblin Slayer dark, right?
Oh, it can get dark.
Slayer dark.
No.
It can get.
I guess maybe some of the themes, but it's not rape on the first episode.
Damn.
Dark.
Yeah.
He just drops the
That's
ball like that.
That's for sure. Like the thing about Overlord is that the anime kind of basically toned down a lot of the dark material that the books has. Like some of the books, they can get away with a lot of dark themes for Overlord.
Books, you're not talking about manga. You're talking about not short story, right?
Yeah, this is actually a light novel. So
A light novel, really?
Like for example, like
the adaptation of a light novel.
So for example, like some of the things that happen in the anime, like they didn't tell you about, the book goes into great detail of what happened and some of the prisoners that tried to raid their guild compound, and basically some of them ended up having worse fates than death. Let's just leave it like that, okay? Like some of them became just thinking about it goes there.
Andrew, did you read the light novels?
I didn't read them. They're on, I think, YouTube. To be honest with you, there's a YouTube channel that actually has it playing like in like a I want to say like a Siri type voice, but like it has like an auto read through the book. and
Yeah,
I pretty much listen to them like on the way to work or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, the books are pretty. I like the books too. So and for the most part, the anime has been pretty true, stayed true to the books for the most part. So that's another enjoyable thing. Typically when an anime stays truer to the manga, it turns out better usually.
Yeah. Because you have information from the original author that, you know, okay, I can go by what he's saying, I don't have to worry about it, as opposed to like what happened with, you know, hopefully with an anime that we're going to be talking about later on, which was with Fullmetal Alchemist. Like at one point that literally the writers they were too close to what was the manga was happening at the time, so say, you know what, the manga is not finished yet, we'll just, you know, come up with our own ending. And the first anime, basically, like, the ending sucked balls. So like, that's what happens when you try to step away from what the author wants to do. Things get a little off the rails, always.
I see. So, Overlord. Now, important question to Benitez: is there a love story in this?
There kind of is.
That smile and that laugh, they're not helping me out here. So I'm gonna put my notes.
The main
love
character,
story, questionable.
The main character, when he, I guess, right before the game shut down, he manipulated some of the settings on one of the NPCs, and she's overly like in love with the main character now. But also because he is like the leader of the guild, and all the NPCs look up to him like a god, pretty much. There's other NPCs that also are in love with him, so it's almost like a harem type thing.
Yeah. It's funny because the thing about it, you have to understand this, Justin. He's a skeleton.
Yeah.
You understand that? Like he has no human emotion. He's a skeleton, and you have all this beautiful ladies, I would say.
And if he does start to get like aroused or anything like that, like his character
just basically drops
settings kind of like immediately negates his emotions and like shuts him down. So yeah.
So, like, the thing about it's I want you to imagine this, like when he first got into, like, I think it was like the last day before the things shut down, he was just looking at some of the list of like the NPCs, and like Albedo, which is like those, you know, Subuki's type, you know, beautiful lady in the game NPC, like, she was programmed to be like literally be a sexual deviant and be a complete bitch, okay? And he's like, oh no, I can't have this. I can't have this. Let me change it. It says, must be devoted to Momo. And basically, like, I want you to imagine having
now he's just stuck there.
Yeah, he's just stuck there with like this girl who's completely adored with this guy, just like, and it's just so hilarious because you would not imagine a succubus being so devoted and so faithful to, you know, Momo-san, and basically it's to the point where they give her a bicorn, which is basically like not a unicorn, but like a horse that is like supposed to be like for like war and stuff like that. And this bicorn basically only obeys deviant ladies. She gets in there, and the bicorn's like, oh, I'm not having any of this, because she's still a virgin, she's still a lowly maiden.
Yeah, she's a succubus and she's a virgin, which is funny. So this show, there's a lot of comedy in there. There's good action as well. Like there's politics and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of good story aspects to it. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely would recommend it.
That scene was funny as well, man. Like,
how many seasons is there of this?
Right now, there's 3, as I mentioned. Season 4 hasn't been officially announced yet, but if it's going, they've been kind of keeping track with the books, and if it's going to end where I think it's going to end, the 4th season is going to end in a pretty big cliffhanger. So,
so each season is
on that.
Great. So each season is probably like around 1 to 12 episodes, 25 episodes.
There's 3 seasons, 13 episodes each.
Okay. Not bad. Not too bad. It's not like, you know, One Piece where there's like 1,000 episodes. You gotta
but half of those are probably filler episodes too, though. I will talk about that one in a minute, but so who's next on the list? They're number 5.
Yes, that will be Mr. El Sol Blanco.
Okay, what can I tell you?
Number 5.
Number 5. For my number 5, it took a while for me to understand this, and it took a while for me to narrow it down. But for my number 5, it is the greatest of the '90s animes, Evangelion, or basically the full name, Neon Genesis Evangelion. So anybody who has seen anime from the '90s and early 2000s would know that Neon Genesis Evangelion literally is what we like to call a mindfuck, because
Yeah, you can say that again.
because this anime deals with so many themes and so many controversial issues that it deals with religion, deals with mechs, deals with introversion, deals with the ability of two people to communicate and relate with one another, and all of it stems from the fact that Hideaki Anno, the creator of the Neon Genesis Evangelion, dealt with a lot of these issues as he was writing and directing and making the manga and the anime, was because for him Neon Genesis Evangelion was a way for him to basically get rid of his depression. And you can see a lot of those motifs and themes as the series goes on. And for him, and this is why the last episode of the season was so controversial, because it was basically the manifestation of him realizing that he finally got better, and there was things to enjoy in life and enjoy it. But a lot of the fans didn't like that, because it's like, hey, yo, what the fuck was happening in the past 2 episodes? That makes absolutely no sense to what was happening on episode 23, 24. So 25, 26 makes no sense whatsoever. So because of that, they have been changing. Movies came out. They recently came out with, not recently, but the past couple of years, they've been rebuilding the series by making animated OVAs, or basically movies about the anime. And next year, we're finally going to get Neon Genesis Rebuild 4.1.
That's the final one, right?
That's the final one. But tell me, Benitez, what would you like to know about this anime that I have for my number 5?
Well, of course, I'm going to ask the obvious. Is there a love story?
Yeah, but you might not want to... you might not want to see what happens in it. Let's leave it like that, okay?
Okay.
It's not the happiest of animes, to just say that.
Yeah.
And if you're really curious, Justin, it is on Netflix. Netflix dropped it. Yeah, the original anime just dropped on Netflix not too long ago.
The original 26 episodes of the original anime. Although I would say that the HD version of it on Netflix is probably not the most accurate when it comes to how the original looked, but it does its job. It's serviceable. So
dubbed, subbed.
I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out. I've already seen it, though.
I could not speak about the Netflix version of it, but I know for a fact that there's both a dub and a sub version of it. I would suggest watching the sub, because the dub, while decent and it does do its job and it's serviceable. I prefer watching it in the original language, because I just feel like you're gonna get a better experience out of it. There's few animes, and there's only one in my list that I prefer the dub over the sub. Okay.
Correct.
So, but yeah, there's a love interest, 2 of them actually. Yeah. No, there's a lot of love interest in this anime, but they don't end up decent or well for most of them. It's a mech anime, so I don't know how well you're gonna enjoy it, but it's good. You'll if you get past the mech part, then you'll get it. Basically, the premise of the show is Shinji Ikari has been asked by his father, Gendo Ikari. What's the name of it? Gendo Ikari, because he took his mother's last name. To pilot this mech called the Eva. Now, the reason why he's piloting the Eva suits is because they are dealing with an extraterrestrial threat by the Angels, which is basically a multi-dimensional beings who are trying to destroy the Earth. The plot gets really thick, and the plot gets really weird at times. So I'm not gonna spoil it too much for you. All I'm gonna say that this anime basically changed the way that the Western market and the Eastern market looks at anime when it comes to just from the psychological aspect of it. There was a before Evangelion, there's an after Evangelion. Let's just leave it like that.
Yeah, just a warning. This anime is one of those type of animes where once you're done watching it, you're gonna have to like watch a explanation video because it's confusing.
It gets really confusing.
You said this is from the 90s, right?
Yep.
So you watched this when you were a kid, and you just got really into it, and you just got like into the politics of the show.
Let me put it this way: I grew up in Honduras, in Central America, where where anime was basically put in a pedestal in Central America when it comes to just the way that they produce, promote it, and advertise them in Central America. Japanese anime was given the best dub, was given the best serialization, and they barely did not touch it at all. So, like, you would see when something was happening that involved blood, you will see red blood. It was not censored. It was if there was any nudity in the anime, they would not censor it. They would let you watch it on TV. And as a kid, trust me, that's probably the best years of anime that I could have seen. Because
boobies.
Not because of the boobies or because of the nudity. It's because of the way that it was not censored. So you were getting basically the same product that people in Japan were getting at the same time. And when you try to look at some of the dubs here, and this is the reason why it annoys me when it comes to just American localization of anime, is that sometimes they would censor it so much that it changed the product, which we will see on one of my top picks, which is Robotech, and I'll get that back to later. But basically, that's my number.
Yeah, like I would like to tie that in with the Dragon Ball Z Kai. I mean, there's like there's like a scene where Gohan's fighting Cell, and in the original it was blood coming from his mouth, but in Kai they changed the red to white, so like it was supposed to be saliva. And I saw this Twitter thing. They're like, "Damn, Gohan's gay," and I'm like, "No, he's not. It's supposed to be blood." You
like,
jackass.
That's the reason why I hate it when I just don't enjoy American localization at times, because they try to make it kid friendly, and that's okay. But some of this anime is not kid friendly. Okay, some of this, like Evangelion, like literally, like one of the main characters literally explodes in the middle of battle. Okay, and you can't really, I don't know, censor that. Like, oh no, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. I don't think she'll be fine.
Walk it off.
Walk it off. Man. Like literally into a spear into her eyes. Like, oh, she'll be fine. Just a flesh wound. But yeah, that's my number 5 pick. You know.
All right, cool pick. I don't know who's someone's on the. Oh yeah, so, my number 5 will be Shokugeki. Shokugeki is an anime based on food, and I believe Shokugeki translates to Food Wars.
Yes.
Just correct me if I'm not wrong. So, little thing on this main character his father owns a diner. Him and his father cook. Then he gets accepted to this prestigious school about cooking, and they go into these things called Shokugekis, which are like literally cook-offs. So me versus that person, cook-off. And right now, I am on what's called Shokugeki, fourth serving or something like that. Mm-hmm. Really great show. Real provocative in some things. You know, you'll see a character go ahead and taste the other character's food, and then all of a sudden, that girl character's moaning like, "Oh!" and then her clothes get ripped off because the syrup on the waffles were so damn delicious, and it was crazy. But there's some science behind there. Like they're like, "Oh, did you know if you freeze like the chili peppers before like 12 a.m. and you eat them in the morning, like at 2 in the noon, I don't know what the hell. Anyways, if you eat them, whatever, and then it brings up the spice."
It's backed by basically by research and by listening. The writers of Shokugeki have done a phenomenal job at how they present food. And yes, it's overblown. It's like, oh my god, it's the greatest things in sliced bread. Yes,
they make it sound like it's better than sliced bread. Trust me.
No, what I'm saying is like it's like they make it seem like it's the best thing that has ever come out. They haven't tasted in the entire years, and we have guys that've been chefs for like 40, 50 plus years. It's like, I have never tasted this. So amazing, yeah, because he's the main character and it's supposed to be a plot point, but whatever.
Well, it's not just him, but there's other people in there that are doing their thing. So I don't know, but I love that show. It's a great show. It makes me want to cook, even though I can't even cook an egg. I mean, I can cook an egg, ladies. I can. I can do it. I promise. But bowl of cereal, I got you.
Yeah, pull a bowl. Okay. And now, if you want some, crepes de sel with some, flaming Grand Marnier, you can ask me.
Yeah, exactly. So, as my question I bring up to everybody, yes, there is somewhat of a love story in there somewhere.
Yeah, there is. Once you start watching, trust me, the manga is really far away from the anime, so you'll be getting your love service along with a good plate. Let's leave it like that, okay?
So yeah, I love that show. It's a great show all the way around. Just cooking. There's no action, fighting, flying scenes that you'll get in a normal anime that would probably mention them alongside. So
it's very comical. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very comical. Actually, I thoroughly enjoy it. So, as we were discussing on the side, so we're going to kick it up a notch and probably move a little bit faster through these. I know we spent a lot of time on number 5, but we'll move on to Lee, number 4.
My number 4 would be Inuyasha.
Inuyasha
came out in 2000. Had 167 episodes.
That's including the final act?
No, that's not including the final act.
Oh, okay.
That's just the original. But it's more about a half breed. Basically, half demon, what they're called. But trying to fight to get more power to become a full demon with the what is it called now? Somebody help me out.
Oh,
the jewel shards.
Yeah. The jewel shards.
Jewel. Trying to get the jewel to come a half.
Well, that was his original intent in the beginning.
Yes.
Was to become a full-fledged demon. So,
but this is a love story for you, Justin.
Yes, I've seen this.
He met a woman that he fell in love with that tried to make him use the jewel shard to become a human, to live out their lives together.
And see that, folks? You see that? Women, the fall of man.
Oh, get off.
Basically lose all their power just to be human, immortal with them.
You see that? It's because Eve ate that apple that Adam had to as well leave paradise.
I don't think
and now we all.
I guess if you look hard enough, you might see that theme in that show, but
I don't think I don't think you should be comparing the Shinko no Tama with a freaking apple, for Christ's sakes, man. But whatever.
No, I love that Lee picked Inuyasha as his number 4 because I thoroughly enjoyed Inuyasha. I did watch all of it, and yes, I did also watch the final act. Finally, I think
I was so happy when they actually came back and finished it. It took them like 8 years to come back, I think it was, to finish it after it aired.
Not only did they have a happy ending at Inuyasha, but everyone had a happy ending. So, Shishomaru got his arm back. Sorry for spoiling it for you guys, but yeah, for those of you that don't know, I'm just saying that because one of my colleagues from work, she's a anime fan too. She loves Inuyasha. In fact, she says she's going to Japan next year, sometime mid-year, to legally marry her favorite anime character, which is Shishomaru. So
it sucked that Kikyo died then, though.
Yes, I agree with that too.
That was the original mortal that he fell in love with.
And she probably will need to see a psychiatrist. But whatever. So
I tell her, Marlon, I tell her on a daily basis that he's so weak that he got his arm cut off by his younger brother. So you're you're marrying a weakling. But anyways, so Lee did mention that there's a lot of episodes in Inuyasha. There's not that many fillers. Is there a lot of fillers in Inuyasha? I mean,
Not that I know of.
it was like a couple.
I think there was a few, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
not like DVC basically. Okay.
Yes. Not like Naruto or One Piece. But anyways, Inuyasha, great show. Great love story.
Don't even get me started on Bleach then. If you're talking about filler, for Christ's sakes, man. Half of the freaking arcs were just filler, for crying out loud.
We'll get there.
Part of us moving on and kicking it up a notch. We're gonna end it right there. Thank you, Lee, for sharing about Inuyasha. Andrew.
So my number 4 is One Piece actually.
You know what? We can go ahead and skip this one.
So this anime is right now over 900 episodes. A lot of it is filler, unfortunately, but I don't know. I've been watching this one since a kid, and I've just been hooked on it since. So it's one of those really slow moving animes. So like one fight might last like 3 or 4 episodes, way too long than it should. But anyways, let me just go back. It's about a character, a kid named Luffy that pretty much wants to become the king of the pirates. He's after a treasure that is a legendary treasure that the last king of the pirates left behind for everybody to chase after. And he assembles a team, becomes a captain of his own crew, and after watching 900 freaking episodes of this show, you get really attached to all these crew members, and their friendship is just a big theme of the show, where like even though they're pirates, Luffy and his crew always do what they feel is right, even if it's not right against, I guess, like government standards or whatever. So, anyways, it's a action-packed anime, a lot of comedy, no romance. I'm sorry, Justin. There's some, but it's not like serious romance. It's like it's more of a comedy side.
Yeah, I guess you could say like they basically subvert the whole romantic aspect of mangas. The only thing that I see, because everybody for the longest time was like, oh my god, Luffy's gonna end up with Nami, and then you bring Boa Hancock and throws that away.
That's what I'm saying, like some of those side characters,
like fan bases,
just fan
being
wishes, and whatnot. Yeah, but there's no real romance. It's not meant to be a romance show. It's a shonen. Good old fun friendship anime type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, any questions?
One Piece. So the main character is Luffy, and a lot of people like to pin Luffy up and put him in that top tier bracket. You know what I mean? So they always like to say Luffy, Goku, Naruto, Ichigo, so One Piece, Luffy. Yeah, Luffy is just like that one guy, right? He's like he's pinnacle.
That's the thing about this show. He's not the strongest, and
really?
It shows him going on his journey of getting stronger and growing. And so like every time he fights somebody, he gets stronger pretty much and learns new things, and he's all scarred up, man. Don't get that twisted. All the characters there, really? they go through battles that affect
pretty
them.
Graphic?
Say what?
Is it pretty graphic?
No, not. It might show some blood or something like that, but
right.
It's basically what happens is like when it comes to One Piece, when it comes to like injuries and stuff like that, they play it up for like jokes, or they would like downplay how severe the injury was until it requires them for like a plot device. Or like, for example, like one of the biggest things that happened in the anime was, everybody started out fun and having and just being pirates and stuff like that. But if you look at the original character designs and the ways that they are now. Mm-hmm. Like literally, like the biggest thing you're gonna see, Zoro lost an eye, for Christ's sakes. Okay, so
Zoro lost an eye. Luffy, for example, in one arc, his brother actually got killed, and in that process, he got pretty much penetrated right through his chest, and now he has a big old X scar on his chest.
Oh wow!
So there's stuff like that. But that's part of the story, though. I mean,
So you can see you grow with this character, just like Andrew said. Like another character, I mean another anime that I could mention is Hajime no Ippo, which is like it's been in serialization for almost, I don't know, like 10 freaking years, for crying out loud. Just like on a couple of arcs alone by itself. And there's so many long-running animes that I can think about, like Case Closed, for example. It's been in serialization for almost close to 30 years now, and it's one of those animes where basically it takes its time, it builds up on what's happening over the years. So after a while, you even if you get tired of the fillers or if you get tired of the arcs, because you've been following it for so long, because you want to see what's happening at the end, you kind of continue on. And sometimes you get really bored of it, and sometimes you get really hyped about it. Like, for example, for me, with One Piece, the Wano arc has been like amazing. Like the anime, the way that they're drawing the characters and the way they're doing animation for it, it's freaking good as compared to the Rosa arc, or compared to I don't know the what is the name of the island?
It's probably a different studio.
Skypedia.
Different studio. So.
Yeah, as the years pass by, you get different studios that work on the anime, but it's a really great anime. Really long though, like Andrew said.
Maybe one day, like if I get laid off or something, and I'm looking for work, and I don't have anything to do, maybe I'll start watching it. But
for 5 years, yeah.
If you do that too, man, one thing I would recommend is just look up what the actual story canon episodes are, and just
look. Watch I won't go into like.
So once it gets those filler episodes, just skip those. And then watch the main story ones again, and that you'll cut out a lot of episodes, but you still, trust me, you still have a long way to go.
Right. All right, so let's move on to El Sol Blanco, number 4.
My number 4 pick is the great love and just basically like a fan favorite among anime aficionados, and that is Clannad. And if you want to see a really tearjerker, if you really want to see a great anime and just basically just fall in love with the entire premise of it, I would suggest to watch Clannad. I'm not going to get into much detail of it because it's an anime that I feel like you should watch, that you should not be hearing it from me. If I'll just say this, watch Clannad After Story. And if you can't even get your hands on the visual novel of Clannad, then I would even suggest doing that and just enjoying the story. It's a real tearjerker, and if you are not crying by the end of this anime, you got no soul. Nice. I'ma just end it like that. So
real quick, how many episodes are there of this? Just rough estimate. 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 100s?
No. So I believe it's basically broken into arcs. The original Clannad was, I believe. Let me see if I can find it out for you right now exactly how much it is. Because the after story is like a sequel to it, but like the television series was 24 episodes for the original.
24. Okay, not bad.
Actually, 23 episodes for the original one, 24 episodes for the after story, which basically is like a sequel to it. But basically it's the story and the life of Nagisa and just all these great characters. Honestly, like, watch it.
And last question, how old is this anime? From like the 90s, you said?
The original run was started in October 4 of 2007, and it ended on March 27 of 2008. The original run of After Story, I believe, is 2008 to 2009, I believe.
Okay, so they're not that far apart from each other. It's not like they lost a lot of substance from between those.
No, and there's a couple of films that deals with with the other different characters, like the Tomoyo After Story, which is basically like a alternate retelling of it. But honestly, like, if you like or if you love freaking like tearjerkers or really like wonderful like shoujo type anime and stuff like that, this is one of them.
This is one for you.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. We're talking about the animation studio Key, which released Canon and Air, which have been like great animes on their own right. So it's I'll just leave it like that. I could be singing praises for Clannad, but the reason why it's not my number one, it's because I go more for
There's better
like,
animes.
yeah, but I go more for like the action adventure type, not supposed to just like slice of life, romantic animes, which I have seen a ton of them.
So moving on to Ronaldo Machaco, myself. From here on out, my animes will be mainstream, very mainstream, so everybody should know these or have heard of them at one point. Mine is Dragon Ball Z. And when Dragon Ball Z, I'll tie Dragon Ball Super into it. Dragon Ball Super was good. Doesn't hit home like Dragon Ball Z. Of course, I was born the year of the Super Saiyan. Just putting that out there. Putting that out there for everybody.
What do you mean by you were born the year of the Super Saiyan?
When Goku turned Super Saiyan, he was in 1991, the year I was born.
Wow, you're old. Not really.
Like I was saying. Everybody probably knows Dragon Ball Z. Of course, I grew up with it. Everybody else has probably seen Dragon Ball Z. Not really a love story in there. I know. A lot of fighting. There's a lot of pause fighting. You know when you like when a character shows up to the scene and like, oh, I finally found you, and then it cuts. Dun 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 dun. Next episode, and then the next episode they actually just start powering up, and then after that episode, then is when they start fighting. So
honestly, I would love to see like a compilation of every single time of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, where they basically were just powering it up and make that a complete video of its own. I bet you that if you cut all that powering up, you could probably make an anime of itself.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. So yes, I also keep Dragon Ball Z number 4 because, like I said it before, it hits home. It's the OG. It's what started all the animes in my book. So, moving on. Lee, number 3. He is speaking, but he is not saying words. He is still speaking and not saying words.
That's what I was saying. I'm speaking, but not saying words.
He's been powering it up. He's been powering it up.
But
join us
my
next
number
week
3 is
on TMSG.
My number 3 was Yu Yu Hakusho. Came out in 1992, the year I was born.
Nice.
It has 112 episodes.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's about a guy that he was like a bully through his school years, middle school, and he ended up saving a child's life and dying in the process of it.
So it ended on the first episode.
Basically.
The end is only the beginning.
The end was the only beginning.
Yusuke Urameshi.
And basically the afterlife, or like, well, you don't have a place for you. So we're going to give you a second chance if you can pass the test and all that. So that he ended up coming back to life and then becoming a spirit detective for the spirit world and going fighting demons and saving the world. And then, like, towards the end of the anime, he finds out that he was also a demon.
Yeah.
His dad was from Demon World.
Interesting.
And since he was trained and all that, it was able to awaken his demon power that could lie dormant for generations in the offspring until somebody was able to.
Right.
And
so this is a action thriller kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And it has a love story in there too for you.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my god, this guy. Like, I just
draw little hearts on all the lists. I just draw little hearts next to it. Yes.
Oh my god, dude, you're disgusting.
But it was really good anime. It's a lot of fighting.
Okay.
It's
There's one thing to note about it for me, especially when I watched this anime. It kind of started off slow.
It did start slow.
It gets a lot better though. He's got to hang in there.
Got it. Like 50 episodes, then it starts getting better.
No, not
not
that
like
far.
I
that.
was about to say,
Once they go to the first tournament,
there's a tournament in this show.
there's actually about 2 or 3 tournaments in this show.
Very nice. Okay.
Once it gets close to the first tournament type deal, it's really good.
Got it. First tournament. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing, Lee. And we'll move to the next one. Andrew.
What number are we on? 3 now? Yeah.
Number 3.
So my number 3 is Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Very mainstream one. It was very popular when it came out. I don't have the year on me or offhand, but I think there's 3 seasons right now. There's about 59 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But man, this anime, especially season 1, it was like mind blowing to me. Just like the raw intensity of like the emotions they would like portray on these characters and everything is really well animated. For those who don't know, it's an action anime, pretty much based around a guy named Aaron and his 2 best friends, pretty much. There's these monster beings like that,
human-like.
Yeah, that reside outside of this humanity's last city, pretty much. And a Titan breaks into the city, pretty much, and then lets in a ton of Titans. And
Smaller Titans.
Yeah, in this occurrence, Aaron's mother gets killed, and he joins the military pretty much to basically combat these Titans. Now he joins the branch of the military called the Scouts. That pretty much their job is to venture forth like outside of the walls and reclaim land from the Titans. So his story is mainly one about revenge. But this is just kind of a premise for it. I definitely want. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you got to check this one out. It can get a little gory. There's a kind of a hint of a love story there, but not too much.
Absolutely, there's a love story in there. Oh my gosh, there's a love story in there. Jesus,
there's a few love stories, I guess, if you think about it. But
yes.
I guess if you're about to die, I mean, you're gonna... Anyways,
if I'm about to get eaten by a huge Titan, call me gay, because if the next person near me, I'm coming after you, man.
I thought you were gonna say call me gay, but whatever. Freaking bro.
I agree with Andrew. This is definitely actually it's one of mine. You know what? I'll share my thoughts on it as well as my number 2. Yes, he hit the hammer on the nail on the head with the hammer. Attack on Titan is about these Titans that live outside of the walls of society, and the walls are like 50 meters high. All the other Titans are 15 meters high at the highest. One day, a 50-meter Titan appears out of nowhere, kicks a huge gaping hole into the wall, and lets all the smaller Titans come in and eat that one little city or town or village or whatever you want to call it, town. And there's more walls inside of the huge civilization, so they all move in. And of course,
what is the name of the wall, please?
Shiganshina.
Thank you.
Aha. So there are many walls: Shiganshina, Wall Maria, and the city is Shiganshina.
Yeah, city Wall Maria. It's basically
Wall Maria, Wall Rose, right? I think it's one of them.
Yes.
I forget the other one, but anyways.
Me too.
We're gonna call it Wall Justin for now, okay?
But yeah, the show takes a crazy twist with hidden secrets and a lot of political stuff that's going on. Currently, in the latest season, they start getting really into like the backstory of the Titans and where they come from and stuff.
Exactly.
And some characters like Mission, and it reveals a lot of stuff. But
it does.
I really don't want to give spoilers because this.
If you're also wondering how the humans fight these Titans, they have these things called like ODM gear, which allows them to pretty much like zip line kind of. in a way, from the floor to up to the Titan and fight them with weapons and stuff. But yes, great show. I agree with you, Andrew, 100%. I fully, thoroughly recommend watching that show. In fact, I met my friend Josh the other night in front of Walmart because he was selling me a Funko Pop from the LA Convention Center, and he hasn't seen it. And I gave him my Hulu account, and he watched all of it. And now, as I speak, I can see him on PlayStation playing Attack on Titan 2 on PlayStation.
Lord Almighty!
It's an awesome show. I mean, for example, there's this one scene where one Titan is carrying a rock, and man, when he's doing like just the music and everything that's going on with it, like it just sends shivers,
the emotion that's going
shivers,
on.
like up my arm, man. And I just like,
like for example,
it's really emotionally attached.
I'll say this: if you can go to YouTube and find out the music video for Shinshubo Sasageyo, watch it. It's literally like one of like the best like actual like concert / music videos that I've seen in a while. Like, because when you see the whole crowd getting into making the motion of putting their fists next to their hearts, it freaking like it sends shivers down my spine. It's like once you get a chance, watch the music video that the band created for that, and you're gonna go, that is sick.
Nice. Agreed. Well, great sharing, Andrew. I will say, I'll just jump in front of Marlon real quick, that Attack on Titan was my number 2, so we'll skip my number 2. So, Marlon, what you got for number 3? Hit me.
Rurouni Kenshin, otherwise known in the West as Samurai X. One of the this anime, I watched it when I was a kid, and basically the premises is Kenshin Himura. Basically, he is a wandering samurai at the tail end of the Meiji period, and basically, I wouldn't say at the tail end, but basically at the crossroads of what happened in the Meiji period and towards the next period of Japan's history. This anime is so freaking good, man. Like, you get action, you get romance, you get comedy, you get all the things that makes great anime in the 90s all together packed, and the action scenes are amazing. Like the animation, even though some of the remakes they have made about it have, kind of, I wouldn't even say failed, but they have dropped the ball, in my opinion.
They blundered it.
The original anime is still great. There's also a live action remake of it on Netflix, I believe. So it's a great samurai anime. Having said that, this is one of the few animes where basically the Japanese dub, the Spanish dub, and the English dub can all stand among each other as their equals.
Nice.
I prefer the English dub and the Spanish dub over the Japanese dub, mainly because I just enjoyed it better. It just flows more naturally with the characters. Just the sound of the characters can make or break a show, in my opinion.
Yes, it can. Absolutely.
When you're reading these characters in a manga style book, or you're reading it from a light novel, you imagine what they would sound like. You kind of make your own interpretation of how they sound like. So I enjoy the way that they made the dub in all this. Because for example, for me, I prefer the original English and the original Spanish dub of Dragon Ball Z, because the original Japanese dub for Dragon Ball Z, I can't stand Goku's voice in that one. Okay, and I'm sorry to the wonderful seiyuu that makes Goku's voice in Japanese, but I cannot stand that voice acting because it sounds like a little kid. It doesn't sound like this, great, powerful Super Saiyan. And the same
strong man.
So with in Rurouni Kenshin, they made Kenshin Himura's voice soft and mellow, because he is like that. He used to be a serial killer. He used to be the greatest, one of the greatest, samurais of the Meiji period, and he was known as the Batosa, the manslayer. And he just said, I can't do this anymore. I want to repent. I want to, basically try to do well in the world and basically just atone for my sins. So he basically, what he did was he grabbed his sword and he turned it into a reverse blade, which basically it has the sharp side facing towards him, and it has the blunt side facing towards his attackers. It was a representation of him repenting for his sins and basically saying, listen, I will not kill anymore. Because he knows that if he kills one person, he may go back to being the Batosai. And when we're talking about the Batosai, we're talking about like next level samurai skills. Like he was renowned throughout the entire battle of when he was younger, because he was killed with such a recklessness and such effortlessness that it was a sight to behold. So for me, Rurouni Kenshin and the storyline, it's great. You have your your love stories with Miss oh my god, what's the name of the lady right now? I'm drawing a blank.
We can't help you because none of us have seen it.
And that pisses me off with you guys, because it's like, come on, it's like one of the greatest animes from the freaking.
It's been in my queue for a while now. The only thing I've known about it is the reverse sword thing. But that's all I know about it, to be honest with you.
That's it.
It's like it's Miss Cairo, I think Miss Kyrie. I'm probably butchering that name right now, most likely. But basically, it's really, really, really freaking good. Because don't get me wrong, I love when they make animes into like real stuff, but the original anime was just freaking great, And Kaoru Kamiya, that was the name of the lady. I was like drawing a blank, for Christ's sakes. Basically, it's a great anime, and like they have sequels, and if you really want to see a great samurai theme anime, that's not taken away from Samurai Champloo or taken from any of the old style Japanese animes. This is a good one to start
Afro
with.
Samurai.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
At least you know about that.
I only heard of it. My cousin talks about it all the time.
God, you are the worst. Every single time, man, it's like maybe he's finally gonna rose up from the ranks, and every single time, you just basically dashed my hopes, brother. Like, why?
Sorry. Moving on. Thank you for sharing your number 3, Marlon. And my number 3 is SAO, also known as Sword Art Online. And why is Sword Art Online on here? My sister will literally strangle me if she hears me say that a little louder, so let's not be too loud. Anyways, Sword Art Online is on here because the only anime I really watched was, like I said before, was Dragon Ball Z. And then when I was getting into the anime scene back in like 2014, 13, sometime around there, my first anime to like actually bring me into the anime scene was Sword Art Online. Of course, I really thoroughly enjoyed the first 15 episodes of Sword Art Online when they're stuck in Ironclad, and after that, the second season, or I guess first season, Volume 1, Season 2, where they go to the fairyland. It was okay. I thought it was good. Season 2, Sword Art Online, I thought it was kind of all over the place. Still pretty good anime, though. I would recommend, if you're going to start watching anime, like I said, I would start with this one, Sword Art Online. Great first 15 episodes. For those of you that don't know, it's about a kid named Kirito is his gamer tag name, but his name is something Kirigaya, or what is it? What's his full name?
Kirito Itsugaya.
No, Kirito's his gamer tag. Anyways, so I heard someone say his name. So there's a new video game that comes out. It's called Sword Art Online, and he gets it, and it's a virtual reality. He puts on the helmet on the first day. He was a beta tester for it, so he was successful going in and out. But when he puts on the helmet, he gets stuck in the video game. Not just him, but all 10,000 other people that are playing the game on day one get stuck in it. And if you die in the game, you die in real life. There's no taking off from the outside, blah, 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 blah. And until you reach level
what
100,
do you mean, blah, 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 blah? That's, you're completely getting rid of the entire plot by there, brother. What the
you can't take off the helmet. If you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah,
That's
but
pretty
why?
much it.
Why do you die in real life? You gotta tell them that, though.
No, I'm not gonna explain that to them. They gotta watch it now.
They become
So
brain dead. That's why.
out-
Oh Lord, this guy.
No.
All right.
They have to watch it. Oh, the only way out is to beat the game. And to beat the game, you have to make it to level 100 and beat the final boss. So, good luck to all of you. Watch SAO. I highly recommend it. And of course, it has a beautiful love story. A love story that I can personally relate
Oh,
to.
for Christ's sakes, man.
If I can marry, you know what? Just like that coworker of mine, if I can go to Japan and marry someone, I am going to Japan and marry awesome. Whatever.
God, Lord.
Moving
Asuna, you have the entire roster of the Sword Art Online characters, and you're gonna pick the most vanilla of them all. Asuna.
Asuna is not vanilla. You're vanilla. Moving on. Number 2. Lee. Hit me. He must be on mute again.
No.
He's powering up again, brother.
Number 2 is Bleach for me. It was came out in 2001. Had 366 episodes, which it had a lot of filler in it too.
How much? How many episodes?
366.
Oh.
It has quite a few filler episodes too.
Okay.
And we must point out that the anime did not finish. Okay?
No, but there has been rumors that it's coming back. They're going to finish it because the manga just finished. That it's going to be like Inuyasha. It took several years to finish.
Yeah, I know, right?
But they're eventually going to come out to finish. I'm really excited to see how it finishes. But basically, it's about a Soul Reaper trying to. At the beginning, he was trying to save his friends. Basically, the whole story is he's a guy that always wants to protect people, trying to save his friends from getting hurt and killed, and that's his whole drive for his power is just to save as many lives as he can. But I enjoy the fighting on it. I mean, the swords. It is an action. The swords on it, the bankais, and all that. That's to me. I enjoy all that. Basically, I mean, I enjoy animes with sword fighting a lot. Sword fighting, fist fighting. I mean,
right. Very fast paced, right? Is it fast paced fighting?
Yes.
Sweet.
So
I might get into that.
I mean, think
It
about
could be kind of slow sometimes when they're powering up, but after they power up, it's pretty fast from there.
But I think the one thing that I really draw me into Bleach wasn't the fact that you had all this fighting and stuff like samurai stuff. It was the fact that every single sword had their specific name, and they had their specific talents, and they had different levels of them, like once we started getting into the part where it's like, oh wait, listen, Ichigo, you've been using this sword for the longest time, but that's actually just like the Shikai version of it, there's another level above that, and we never got to see all of them all the way until the end of the series, where we started to see the actual captains, completely powered up, and it was those moments were what made Bleach so great. At least in my opinion. I mean, we're thinking about it. We're sitting here. We're talking about shonen anime. We're talking about Shonen Jump. Most of the top 3 for the past couple, decades. We're talking about One Piece. Decades. We're talking about Bleach. I'm guessing that one of you sons of guns is gonna add the last of the big 3. So it ain't gonna be me. I'll tell you that. So, but. There's one question that I wanted to ask Lee about it. So, what is your favorite character for Bleach, Lee?
Oh, it's Ichigo Kurosaki.
Okay.
Of course, and I love his Bankai. I mean, his Bankai is not really fancy like all the other Bankais on there, but his Bankai, increases his speed and power, and to me. I like the sword. To me, mostly I love the Bleach because of the sword fighting, and his Bankai has to do with his sword. You know it, and where some of the other Bankais, it has like an ice dragon and a rocket as one of the Bankais.
Yeah, it's like those.
And the funny thing about the one with the rocket is her whole thing is quiet and stealthy.
Yeah.
And then her Bankai is a rocket.
Yeah.
A big, huge rocket.
I think it's supposed to be funny.
Like it's like,
so
for example,
it's well, you just blew quiet and stealthy way out the window there.
Like and she says it, it's like I hate my sword's banker. It's like, why? It's so powerful. Like, you don't understand. I am a ninja. I am been tasked and been trained to be stealthy as can be. I have been trained with what is the name of the lady? Yurachi. The original captain.
The cat. You talking about the cat?
The cat lady. Yurachi, and she's like, I hate it. It's like, why are you so okay, fine. Like, I need it. Like, you're thinking she's gonna pull out knives. You're thinking she's gonna pull out butterfly knives. You're thinking she's gonna pull out some like Tanto type blade because that's the thing that she uses. No, it's a freaking like blaster cannon straight out of freaking Mobile Suit Gundam, for crying out loud. And everyone is like, what the hell is that? It's like, I hate it. Like, and with a shield and everything, it's like.
Nice.
Also, Marlon, it would also, with it's also Kenpachi Zaraki.
It's like so stupid.
He's and I've run it a little bit because I've only watched the anime. I don't ever read the mangas, but I've seen his Shikai and Bankai that they have not revealed in the anime yet, and I'm like, man, them his raw power is just unbelievable.
It's like
nice.
The thing that makes me laugh about Kenpachi is like with his Shikai, basically he didn't know the name of the sword for the longest time, and he had this huge blade that was basically crack all over it, because he's been fighting for so long, and you have this thing cracked for the longest time.
I don't think it was cracked, Marlon. I mean, that's just the way his blade was formed.
But it just looks serrated. It just a katana is not supposed to look like a serrated knife. Okay, it's supposed to look beautiful and lengthy and just whole. And basically, when the Bankai was revealed, we were thinking, what is he gonna have? Is it gonna be like a big knife? Is it gonna be like a small knife? No, he pulls out this huge freaking axe. It's like, oh shit, we're about to go.
That was his Shikai. It wasn't his Bankai.
That was
well,
for Christ's sakes, man. Like,
we'll save this discussion for the chat another time. Like, so thank you, Lee.
Like, basically, it was this when basically when he revealed. Well, I guess you're right. He was a Shikai. Because he basically said the name of it.
Thank you, Lee, for sharing Bleach.
Sorry, man. I'm an anime guy. You know me. Okay.
No, you are. On to number 2, Andrew.
So, as Marlon was mentioning, the big 3 a minute ago. Here's the complete the list, I guess. So Naruto,
the trilogy,
is
basically.
my number 2.
I put Naruto Shippuden here.
Yeah, more specifically Naruto Shippuden. Yes.
Okay.
So kind of like how you summed up all Dragon Ball Z. I guess I'm gonna just sum up Naruto. Not Boruto. Naruto. I'm not the biggest fan of Boruto, but
not bore to you, but Naruto.
But basically, I know for Shippuden there's at least 500 episodes. I don't really know. I don't know how many there are for Naruto, the original. This has been one of the big animes that have been going on for years. I don't remember when it started, to be honest with you, but
Filler City.
Yes, there's a lot of filler episodes, but this is one of those where you could look up what the main arcs are as well, just to keep up with it, so you don't have to watch all that filler stuff. But basically, it's an action. There's some romance in it, not much. That's not the premise, but it's an action shonen anime. It's about a kid named Naruto Uzumaki who's trying to become. He's pretty much like an outcast in his city or his town or his village, and to kind of make stick it to the man type thing. He wants to become the man, literally of the village, and become the best ninja pretty much in his village. And
wait, there's other ninjas in his village that are like way better than him or something?
Really?
Oh, shut up!
No,
man.
I'm serious.
Like, I swear to God, you're joking with me, right?
No, I'm serious.
You mean to tell me that I freaking get
with-
it
I
straight
thought
out of the
he was
freaking?
the world or something. I thought he's like, I become the best in the village. Like, I want to go to the next town over and.
No.
Oh, it's not Pokemon, for Christ's sake.
His goal is to become the Hokage of his village, which is pretty much the lead, the person in charge of the village, pretty much.
Oh.
There's a bunch of different hidden villages though. They each have their own Kage. I forget what they're all called.
Hokages, basically.
Yeah, the Hokage is the leaf village,
the
and
village,
there's
the Tsuchikage,
there's a bunch of other ones though.
the Wakage,
But Kage is kind of like the
There's Rakage.
yeah.
Wakage, the Tsuchikage.
Anyways, so Naruto's goal is to become the best one of that, but he gets pretty much stuck with I guess fate, you could say, with his bloodline and everything else. I don't really want to give spoilers here, but I guess this is one of the big anime that a lot of people have watched or know about.
Basically, the
I
reason
haven't
why
seen it.
basically the reason why he wanted to become the Hokage in the first place was because he was so ostracized in his village because nobody wanted him. He didn't realize why nobody wanted him for the longest time in the original anime, not Naruto Shippuden. Not by Naruto Shippuden, he already knows why, but by Naruto, he doesn't understand why the village ostracized him so much. So he says, "Hey, listen, since nobody likes me and nobody respects me, I think, but if I become the Hokage, then they have to respect me, And that was his goal.
Mm-hmm.
And
I see.
Yeah, and then there's an evil organization called the Akatsuki, and they pretty much are the big bad guys throughout the whole show. And then they want, I guess, what's inside Naruto.
the QB,
amongst other things, but
I hear some pretty badass fight scenes in Naruto.
yes,
I mean, I think there's another one like
ton.
I've only seen one. I don't think it's Naruto, or I don't know if it's Naruto or Boruto, but there's a fight where Naruto and Sasuke are fighting some like godlike thing, and there's a scene where like he chains up Sasuke, and then like Julio was explaining this to me. He chains up Sasuke, and then Sasuke does his thing, his eye opens, and all of a sudden he switched places with that godlike thing.
That was actually in Boruto, but
Oh, okay. But like that, and then like when he paused, and then Julio looks at me and he's like, "You have no idea what just happened." I'm like, "Okay, he was obviously moving so fast that he switched places with that guy." He's like, "No, like the backstory of Sasuke using that move, like." And I was like, "Oh yeah, no." So
Naruto and Sasuke have like this best friend brother relationship type thing that kind of goes on through the whole series, and pretty much they become the two biggest baddest mofos out there.
Really?
Like not even joking around, but
yeah.
Their fights amongst them two are some of the best fights in the entire series, pretty much. But there's a lot of other good fights in there too.
Yeah, so it's definitely well worth watching.
There's a ton of good action. Yeah, if you like action anime, man, you can't really get much better with some of the action in this anime.
They also say like Naruto's the one that starts off a lot of animes. So I mean, my cousin sent me the list of all the fillers, so I can avoid them. I just haven't had dedicated time to watch Naruto. Just I gotta put it on my to-do list.
Yeah,
Maybe,
you can say that again.
Sorry. Can I get through Naruto in 8 hours?
No.
Absolutely not.
8 months,
okay.
Yes. Not 8 hours.
Okay, how about 16 hours? Because if I go to Peru in April for my cousin's wedding, it's an 8-hour flight one way. So.
Okay, do you want me to tell you? Okay, Andrew, you want to tell them how many episodes there are?
I just said there's 500 in Shippuden alone.
Yeah,
and
I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
And Naruto alone, let's see. Let me look it up real quick.
Oh.
In Naruto, there's 9 seasons, like 220 episodes in Naruto. So yeah, so you got like 720 episodes, man.
Basically, if here's an example. If you don't mind reading and looking at comic books, you could probably watch the entirety of the manga of Naruto in 8 hours.
Nah, I'm good.
I figure you would say that.
Anyways, thank you, Andrew, for sharing your number 2. On to Marlon, number 2.
My number 2, it is Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. It is a very old-time anime. Coming back to you
I thought you said it was Robotech. Right here, I wrote down Robotech.
Robotech is basically the amalgamation of what American dub tried to do for Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Okay.
Jesus Christ, this guy has to go into fucking parallel universes of this other shit. God damn it. Okay.
Basically, Robotech is what you would have called Dragon Ball Z Kai. Basically, splicing different parts of the arcs together to make one thing. So now you understand what I'm saying. Robotech is not the best way to see this anime, because you're basically splicing different types of episodes together to make it whole, and it just doesn't work well. Right. So basically, Super Dimension Fortress Macross, the original run was October 3rd from 1982 to June 26th of 1983. It's an all-time anime, okay?
We were not born yet.
I was not born for this, but I grew up watching this in Honduras, and basically, the story is about, Hikaru Ichijo, which is basically an alien ship crashes into Earth. The Japanese government realizes that this is an alien ship and decides to basically figure out how it works, and they realize that they can get the alien technology to work for them, and then create this robots called Valkyries, which is basically, and this is what I love about it, it is an F-14 Tomcat, okay, that can transform into a robot.
Nice.
And then you have 3 stages of it. You have the fighter pilot, the fighter jet that turns into the hybrid, which is basically like the legs of the robot with the head of the fighter jet, and then you have the full robot. And all 3 of the modes can basically just have different ways of going about it, and how you can function the airplane or the robot. And it's a great anime. Like, you have, if you're asking if there's a law of romance, there's a lot of that in there.
Nice.
But there's also like politics. There's also betrayal, very dark themes and stuff like that. But through the entire series, you're seeing Ichijo's development throughout the series as he becomes more mature and more as a better pilot and as a better commander, because they are fighting this alien threat that's coming in and trying to destroy the Earth. And trust me, if you can find a really great copy of Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, you'll love it. It go for it. It's Studio New made a great anime with this one, and trust me, Noboru Ishiguro did a tremendous job with trying to bring the manga towards the anime. So I'm just gonna say this: Harmony go fuck yourself. You fucked up this anime so much with your crappy Robotech. I don't want to hear shit from you. Please, Funimation, give us a decent HD remaster of Super Dimensional Fortress. That's all I fucking ask.
I mean, they just did that with that other one. Oh my gosh, why did I even mention if I don't even know the name of it? I'll have to go through this thing real quick.
What is the name of the? Is it like an?
It's the one when the girl hugs people and then they turn into animals, into like the.
Oh, Fruit Basket.
Fruit Basket, yeah, they just redid that one, so I'm pretty sure they'll redo yours.
I don't think so. It's not even I want a remake of Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. I just want the original in decent HD quality and not crappy colors and shit like they tend to do with all the crap nowadays, man. It's like,
oh well. Hopefully, one day.
One day.
On to myself for the next one. Number 2, as I mentioned before, we'll skip my number 2 because it happens to be Andrew's number 3. Attack on Titan. Like we said, go watch it. Great anime. Now, for the last one, Lee, number one. What's your number one?
Before we do number ones, we hit up some honorable mentions first. Or...
Oh, you want to do honorable mentions now? Okay.
Doesn't
So, for those that didn't make it to the list, we have some honorable mention names. Let's see if I can spell my own iPad writing over here. So, honorable mentions are Konosuba. Great anime, Marlon.
Yes, we are.
Captain Tsubasa.
Captain Tsubasa. If anybody that likes watching sports anime, or watching, or anybody who grew up in the 90s watching sports anime, knows what I'm talking about. It's a great soccer anime, and you, Justin, should watch it.
I'll probably look into it. Next one is Steins Gate by Andrew. Tokyo Ghoul by Lee. Black Clover by myself. Dr. Stone. Fire Force. Cowboy Bebop. God Eater, Berserk,
God,
7 Deadly Sins, High School DxD, wink.
Yeah, sure.
Demon Slayer. Oh, a classic, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fist of the North Star, One Punch Man, Golden Time, Fairy Tail. I can't read this one.
I am surprised that nobody in this said JoJo's Bizarre Adventures or Pokemon.
Pokemon's on the list. It was coming. Parasite, Skill Teaser Takakagi-san, that was mine. Psychopaths, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just put that in there because why not? Rising of a Shield Hero, Pokemon, Digimon, Mob Psycho, and my last and personal favorite of Don Machi.
My Weeble Academia.
I want to put Death Note in there as well.
No, trust me. We could go down the list, man. I could put Toradora, for Christ's sakes, if anybody wants to watch a really good, romance anime. Hell, we could put...
I did like Toradora, actually, so that is another honorable mention.
Good.
3D Girlfriends in there.
So,
number one, Lee, hit us off.
My number one is one that you've already hit, is Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
It originally came out dubbed in 1996, but aired in Japan in 1988. Had 291 episodes of it. It was my number one as I was growing up as a child. I love the fighting, the Goku trying to get stronger without, and also being kind at the same time, He wasn't trying to prove himself to be bad or anything like that, trying to hurt people or kill them. He just wanted to test his power out, trying to get stronger, and I kind of like that. I kind of, growing up, trying to get stronger, trying to live right, that it just hit life basically.
Nice. I like that. I do agree with you there, Lee. Dragon Ball Z is definitely one of the best anime. I wish I really did put on my number one list as well.
Basically, and this is the thing that I'm just going to add to the conversation, it's there was a before Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and there was an after when it comes to shonen anime. Like, the reason why the big three are the way they are, One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto, it's because of, Dragon Ball, it changed the way that, anime was portrayed and the way that manga and, Japanese comics were portrayed in the West because of it. Everybody in the 90s knows who Goku is. It's in the same level as Superman, and Batman.
Whoa.
Think about it. Like, if you look at how it was in the 90s when it comes to Goku, every kid wanted to be like Goku.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So we're talking
about power level and who would be who.
No, I'm not talking about power level. I'm talking about popularity level.
That's another argument for another time. Yes.
Okay.
We'll have another podcast of Superman versus.
Yeah, I mean,
Goku.
think about it. Akira Toriyama basically created the shonen genre with Dragon Ball Z.
Yes,
it was popular, but it wasn't as popular as you would have seen in the late 80s and early 90s. Think about it. It changed. And if you look at Hideki Onna, and you look at all of the writers and of One Piece, of Bleach and stuff like that, they credit Kira Toriyama for their success because they are the ones who basically
he's the foundation. He is the foundation of their.
If it wasn't for
building.
them, you wouldn't have Naruto, you wouldn't have Bleach, you wouldn't have other stuff. And if it wasn't for Bleach, if it wasn't for Naruto, it wasn't for One Piece, you wouldn't have Demon Slayer, you wouldn't have Black Clover.
You wouldn't have the anime you would really have today, is basically.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Lee. I appreciate you sharing your number one. I too feel that Dragon Ball Z should be number one on my list, but it is not. Great show, Dragon Ball Z. Great show. And Dragon Ball Z is one of those shows you can actually just start from Dragon Ball Z and just go on with. You don't really have to watch Dragon Ball to understand Dragon Ball Z.
That is blasphemy.
I tell you the truth, I actually watched Dragon Ball Z all the way through. Several years later, I went back and actually watched Dragon Ball.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, so it's... Yeah.
So you don't... like Justin said, you don't have to watch Dragon Ball to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to, but like it's if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, you wouldn't have Dragon Ball Z. Okay, you people are disgusting.
Of course, but like we said earlier in our pre-chat that
pre-chat, right?
I mean, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are a completely different.
Yeah.
Like, almost kind of like genre, but whatever. That's for a different discussion. Thank you, Lee, again for sharing your number one. Andrew, the Quiet Man. Let's hear your number one.
My number one, drum roll, please. No, I'm just joking. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I mean, this is probably one of the game changers for me, to be honest. Like, I really watched like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, a few others like growing up and stuff like that. But after watching this one in particular, that's when I really got hooked into anime and started exploring more anime. But Full Metal Alchemist pretty much is about two brothers who they lose their mom and they're real young at this point, like little children, and they try to use this world's like advanced science called alchemy to bring her back to life. And doing alchemy on humans and stuff like that is pretty much forbidden in this world. And so when they try to do this, it backfires on them miserably. And the one brother loses his arm and loses his leg, and the other brother loses his body entirely. But luckily, the one kid, the older brother, ties his soul, the younger brother's soul, to a piece of armor. And now they're pretty much on the search for a relic called the philosopher. I can't even talk right now.
The philosopher's stone, not the falafel stone. Okay, it's not Avengers.
Falafel shop and buy your falafels.
Philosophers. I can't even talk
Philosopher's
right
stone.
Anyways,
they're looking
for that stone, and they're supposed to have some kind of like pretty much let you override any alchemy rule without any consequence. So you don't have to follow the rule of equivalent exchange there to basically bring back their bodies and bring back their mom.
So alchemy is pretty much whatever you give, you got to take, right? Kind of deal.
Yeah. So it's like an advanced science in this world where like it's a law of equivalent exchange. So it's like, let's say you have a wooden desk here, you can't make it gold. You can't make it into a golden desk because the atoms are not there. Not the atoms. The elements are not there to make it. You know what I'm saying? So they could make the desk into, I don't know, a suit of armor maybe, but it'd be wooden armor because it's still
right.
Wood.
I see. Okay, I see. Okay,
they're able to do stuff like that. But as long as you know the science behind it, though, that you're able to do all kinds of stuff, manipulate fire, water, ice, make explosions. Like you could do a number of crazy things with alchemy. But like I said, the human soul, like what's really the equivalent to that? And so they tampered with that, and they suffer the consequences for it.
Yeah, I mean, they can do transmutation, which is basically what Andrew was saying, which is changing the physical aspect of one item to another one, but it has to be from that specific same material. They don't have transmogrification, which is basically changing the entire aspect of one item to the other one. Like I said, you can make gold into silver, unless you have the Philosopher's Stone, which basically they're saying that they can do anything, but it doesn't. It's just a mythos that they had.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but this show has a bunch of serious themes, dark themes as well. I mean, to be able to have the power to ignore stuff, you had to like sacrifice humans and stuff like that to be able to get the power to do the stuff that the stone does.
So to make it clear real quick, Brotherhood is not the same thing as Full Metal Alchemist.
Right. So as Marlon was saying early on in the show, where the Full Metal Alchemist, it followed along the manga somewhat, and then the anime makers went their own path, and then Brotherhood was like the correction to that. Pretty much, it followed.
I see.
Story.
Okay, good.
And it is way better story and ending than the first one, the first series. So yeah,
I did watch Brotherhood. So I did watch Brotherhood, but so would you recommend me not to watch Full Metal Alchemist?
You could watch it. It's still good. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely
Brotherhood's definitely way better.
Yeah, Brotherhood's the one I would recommend.
Yeah.
And I believe there's like 50 episodes for Brotherhood, so it's not like too long.
No, I think it's 64 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't hit the triple digits and you're like, 400 and something episodes.
There's almost like I don't even think there is any filler, to be honest with you. Like it's every has story and like important information, so you don't waste a bit of time pretty much with that show.
Unfortunately, there is a small love interest, but not too much there. I can kind of see it. I can kind of not see it.
But it's more about the brother's journey to get
there is brotherly love. You are absolutely correct. Yes, but there is a happy ending at Brotherhood. I did thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not make it to my top 5, Andrew. Sorry, this podcast is about me, not you. So.
Oh, Lord. This guy, I swear to God, man. Dude, Gustavo would have been like, Gustavo would have been biting our butts right now. Like, you guys are weeps, nerds. And I'm like, listen, buddy.
We got to make this next one pretty quick. Marlon, let me hear it. Your number 1.
My number 1 anime, the one that I grew up watching as a kid. Saint Seiya. That is my number 1 anime. And anybody who's been growing up in the 90s and in the early 2000s knows what I'm talking about with Saint Seiya. Knights of the Zodiac in the United States, or Caballeros del Zodiaco in Spain, and all the freaking Latin American countries. It's
never heard of this anime.
Fucking Christ sakes, I hate you guys. Listen, Big Lad, at least you if you would have said that you don't know, well, you did say you don't know what's Fist of the North Star, but basically, Saint Seiya is a tournament-style fighting anime where basically the zodiac signs, Cancer, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, all of them have what we call cloths or armor. And every sign in the zodiac and every sign that you see up in the night sky has a cloth of armor that these warriors basically wear. And Saint Seiya basically follows the storyline and the battles and adventures that Seiya, which is dons the cloth of armor of the Pegasus constellation, and it's a great fighting anime. Anybody who grew up watching this in the late 80s, early 90s, knows what I'm talking about. Basically, the story focuses on Seiya, who was an orphan, and basically he was forced to go into a sanctuary, which is like this place in Greece where kids that have this power called the Cosmos are able to obtain the claws of the bronze claws, which is Pegasus. And the storyline basically follows Seiya's friends, the Phoenix Bronze Saint Iki, Shun, which is basically the the Saint of Andromeda. You got Shiryu, who is the Saint of the Dragon constellation. You have Hyoga, which is the Saint of the Cygnus constellation. And they fight through all of these evil minions, try to save, Aori, which is basically Senseiya's, childhood friend, and also the reincarnation of Athena. You're going to be seeing a lot of Greek mythology mythos in this anime. You're going to be seeing Zeus, Hades, the anime is, the original anime was 114 episodes, but unfortunately, because just like, Lee was saying, the original anime was never finished because Toei Animation sucks balls, like everything that they touch nowadays. And they had issues with the promoters, had issues with the creators, and with Kuramada, had issues the way that they were portraying the characters and by Toei Animations, and he said basically, you guys are ruining my thing, and I'm just gonna stop doing this, and it's in and out, and it's been a back and forth, and be trying to revive it for a long time, and they've been trying to come back with new remakes and stuff like that, like Senseiya's Lost Canvas. If you've seen that, that's a really great anime as well. But look, all I'm gonna say this is, and I meant I said Aori, it's Saori Kado, which is the name of Senseiya's friend, or in love interest, as some would say.
Nice.
But it's a great battle anime. The fact that, here's the thing, in this anime, all the small constellations, Cygnus, Pegasus, Leo Minor, Ursa, all have tiers. So you have your bronze armor, you have your silver armor, and you have your gold armor. The gold armor is the strongest armor that the warriors of Athena can wear, and all of them are the 12 constellations of the zodiac. So Cancer has one, Aquarius has one, Leo has one, and Pisces, Gemini, all of them have one. And Seiya, because he was born in the month of Sagittarius, if grossing power strong enough, he's able to wield the golden armor of Sagittarius. And the way that the anime does this, it's like, it's bloody, okay? Like, there's certain scenes where basically Iki fought Hyuga, and basically he rammed his freaking fist on Hyuga's chest and pulled out freaking his heart for the most part, and it gets really bloody. And there's themes about blood and how sacrificing the blood for Athena makes them stronger. It's a really great anime, and I grew up watching this, so that's my number one. So
nice.
It's a really great
of the Zodiac. I'll have to check that out maybe one day. But with all those episodes. So thank you, Marlon, for sharing your number one. And of course, last but not least, you always have to save the best for last. Ronaldo Machaco's number one is My Hero Academia.
So My Hero Academia
is one of the greatest animes to ever hit the market. For those of you that don't know, I'll pretty much explain the premise of pretty much first episode. In this world, about 80% of the population of the humans are born with powers, but here they call them quirks. So, you can have anything. Someone can have levitation, someone can fly, some people can fire, whatever. Any kind of quirk you can think of, some kind of power you think of, they have it. So people are born with quirks. There's one kid, his name is, I only know his hero name right now, Deku, which is Midoriya. Midoriya, he is a kid that's born normal. He has no quirk. His favorite superhero is the number one superhero in the world, known as All Might. And one day, as a middle schooler, he meets All Might and tells him that I'm quirkless. What can I do to save the world? And after like a heroic, dashing thing that he's done to help one of his friends out, All Might decides to tell him, hey, I'm going to pass my quirk on to you, which is unheard of. So he passes his quirk on to him, and you pretty much follow the adventures of Midoriya going to school, and at this hero school, it's like the number one hero school of all the world. He learns how to develop and use his powers. Great anime, great show, great character development. There is a love story in there, a small one, but it's not as big as the action in an anime scenes is in there. There's 3 seasons. Yeah, we're on the 4th season right now. It is currently playing. Season 4. First season, you kind of know and gain to grow with some of the characters. You know all the classmates, class 1A, the teachers, and all this stuff, and then you find out who the villains are and how powerful everyone really is. Better character development in season 2, a lot more action. Season 3 was also phenomenal, and season 4 is just getting started, and it's very exciting. I know that Lee watches My Hero Academia. I know Andrew watches My Hero Academia. And for sure, Marlon watches My Hero Academia because he relates so much to the guy with balls on his head.
I hate you so
That's
much
the only reason why I know.
First of all, let me clarify that for you. I don't watch the anime for My Hero Academia. I watch a few episodes here and there, but what I really do, I just tend to read the manga. Okay, that's what I tend to do when it comes to most animes. Okay. If the anime does not have a manga, or if the manga is kind of short compared to the anime, I would go for the anime. If the manga has been long running series, I would go for the manga and then the anime. But for My Hero Academia, I'm just gonna say this: season 4 is gonna blow your freaking socks off, and I'm just gonna keep quiet on that.
I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that whatsoever. So. But unfortunately, I would love to go into much greater detail about My Hero Academia, but it seems that we are running very, very short on time. I think I did a little reversal. I think I should have spent less time on number 5s and more times on number 1s, but screw it. Those are our top 5 anime. Gustavo is still out there delivering food in Uber Eats. Wish him luck. He'll be out there for a while. We may not even see him next week, but don't worry. We don't need him. You still got us. And with that said, I would like to end the podcast there. Good night, everybody, and see you all on the flip side.